All right, welcome in Bronco Nation. We are here. We're going to review some of our recent games, not the best ones, unfortunately, but we're going to talk about what went wrong and what we need to do to recover from here. I have Ricky Chongachu here. Ricky, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. How's it going?
Going pretty good. Still reeling from the two losses. Definitely a rough weekend for the fans. So,
Yeah.
but I know you watched the Fresno game. What was kind of your take on what you saw from there? I know Madsen kind of went out pretty early in the game, and we had Cutforth come in for him, and unfortunately didn't really perform as well as we were hoping. But what things did you see on that we struggled with or that you were liking?
Man, I think the biggest thing is realizing we don't have any quarterback depth. Because I thought the team overall we played decent. It's just if we, let the other team hang around for too long and don't put any points on the board, yeah, you can't win games like that. So yeah, overall, I feel like defensively we played all right. Could have been better. Offensively, I think we ran the ball pretty effectively. Um, but yeah, just those key moments where we needed the quarterback to make that throw, I think was missing at this game, which is rough, man. It's the first game since 1996 that we lost on the blue by more than 20 points. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's not the
Fortunately, we
stat
lose
we're
that
looking for.
longest win streak at home. That sucks.
Yeah, you know what? When I was playing, we had the winning streak going as well. So we got back. It'll come back. The streak comes back alive. But yeah, it sucks to lose it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think honestly, like the run game, I felt I was a little bit disappointed with the run game. I think we probably could have, if we had done a little bit better in the run and been a little bit more dominant there, especially like on the line. I think it would have given Max a lot better time. I mean, like we were talking about on one of our past videos, when you're running it down their throat and getting those 4+ yards every time, it's pretty demoralizing to the defense. And I think they weren't
Right.
really able to do that. They were getting just a few yards on each, sometimes even stopped. And then it kind of put Cutforth in a situation where he was having to make these, third and not so short attempts, and he just wasn't able to be as consistent in those areas as we needed him to be, unfortunately. So,
Right.
as
No,
far
I
as
agree.
like Cutforth, what kinds of things did you see from him? This was kind of his first game. We haven't seen him really play this much. We saw him a little bit in the Air Force game, but really only like 2 drives. I think he only passed like 4 times. Um, so, like, with this being the first time you really got to take a look at him, what were you seeing?
Honestly, I think the first drive I watched, which might not have been the first drive of him playing, I think I like this. I don't know. At first, I thought I liked his confidence. I was like, okay, we're putting a drive together. We're moving the ball. But then I think later on in the game, I just realized how out of sync Cutforth in his offense were. Like a lot of mistimed throws, throwing the ball late, just being inaccurate. That
Yeah,
was
especially
the
those deep
negatives.
ones.
Yeah, the negatives. But other than that, I feel like he had the confidence of like, hey, I'm gonna go and get it done. He didn't seem too worried, too nervous or anything like that, which I like. As a backup quarterback, I think you're almost the most you almost have to be the most prepared player on the team because you're not gonna get the reps during practice. But if something happens, you up. You got to make it happen because everybody's looking at you now. So, um, yeah, in a sense, I don't think he did that bad. I think the offensive line, he got hit, like he got sacked 2 times and lost the ball, right? Fumbled the ball, or at least dropped the ball at least once. Which that's not a position you want to put your quarterback in, right? As an offensive lineman, and it's not something
Yeah.
that I saw that he did wrong. It's just the offensive lineman got beat. So yeah, we can't have that happen. But that goes back to what you were saying with our offensive line not dominating Fresno's defensive line. Um,
Yeah.
but other than that, I'm looking forward to this game, this upcoming game, just to see if he can bounce back and take control of the offense and find what he's good at and make that happen. Because I mean, he's the backup for a reason, so I think he has the talent. It's just now going out there and getting that rhythm with your offense and knowing when to throw the ball, not throwing the ball late, just putting your guys in the position to do well. Because that's really what it is. Like as a quarterback, half your job is just managing the game. So if you can do that, I think there are enough offensive weapons on our team that just to make it happen. Just to make a competitive game.
hmm
Um, so I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
forward to
think
that.
there was one thing I started noticing, and I saw it a little bit against Air Force too. But there's only really been a couple plays where he's had an opportunity to show this until now, and it's just that whenever he gets pressured, he doesn't really respond too well to that. it seems like whenever he starts seeing that pressure, all of a sudden he kind of gets flustered and he's looking around for where he needs to go and how to respond instead of like knowing where to respond, which holes to slip through to scramble and still looking downfield. He seems like he's definitely a pocket quarterback, but when that pocket collapses, he just is completely out of it. He doesn't know what to do from there. And I think that's something that they either need to work on that with him and really pinpoint, where he needs to go in those situations. But I think within, 1 or 2 weeks, it's going to be hard for him to really like perfect that. You know what I mean? I don't think that's going to look too much different against San Diego State. So in my mind, and I wish they had done this a little bit more on the Fresno game, but seems like they really could capitalize by. I mean, they did a lot of like long developing pass plays, and I know towards the end, you're trying to take shots downfield and stuff, but it's like we know he doesn't respond well to pressure. We know he's not very accurate on these deep passes. So I really wish they had game planned a little bit more or changed up the game plan, I should say, to focus on like quick slants and other things so that he could get that ball out before they even really had a chance to pressure him. And I really just didn't see much adjustment from Potter in that sense. He tried a couple screens and other things like that, but other than that, the pass plays looked like what he would call with Maddox, and Cutforth's just not able to hold it down like Maddox is, especially when he needs to roll out and stuff.
Agree. No, I agree. I think it's just now comes down to like what is he good at? Because I mean, San Diego State doesn't have any film on him except for this last game, so you can really just figure out what are you good at. Let's make that your go to throws, and just go from there and just try to go down the field. Not necessarily rely on him as much, but yeah, I think it's a tall task, man. It's rough for your first guy to go out. Um, but it is
Yeah,
what it is. Great teams, they come alive when adversity hits. So um yeah, so I didn't like what I saw. We kind of fell apart, but the time to bounce back. I think San Diego State is a good team, and I saw that they're ranked first in the Mount West. So
yeah,
good bounce
and I
back
think
game.
one thing that scares me is San Diego State has such a great defense too, and
Right.
I mean, even when they played Fresno, they held them. I think that it was a blowout. They didn't even score on them. And San Diego State really only scored one or two against Fresno. A lot of their points were just field goal after field goal. So I was kind of expecting them to have a little bit of trouble coming in. I thought we would do a little bit better against the run. And as soon as Maddox went down, it really threw a wrench in their plans, I think. But I just didn't see much adjustment from the coaches once that happened. And going into San Diego State, I
Right.
think we really need to plan and make those adjustments. We need to pretty much game plan completely around Cutforth and what he's capable of doing and making him successful. We're gonna run it pretty much
Right.
the same because it's not too hard to hand it off. But as far as like the passing game, like I think Nate Potter needs to re-strategize, and I'm really hoping that he does that instead of just going with what he knows and hoping it works with Cutforth. One thing I've seen with these coaches in the past is like it feels like at least they tend to try to develop the player into the game plan. And I think in this situation, that's just not going to work. We need to do the opposite. We need to game plan around the player that we've got in there.
For sure. I'm with you. Yeah. I think it's gonna be important to adjust it. I mean, there gotta be a balance. Like you still want to play your brand of football, right? Because you've been building
Yeah,
on that all year. But yeah, you got to make it a little easier. Make sure your guy, your go to guy, can succeed in this position. Your new quarterback has to be able to pick this up. So yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna adjust well and put him in a position to do well because that's all we have. We can't do anything else,
yeah,
right? The quarterback, Matson's gonna be out for a bit, so we're gonna make it happen with our second guy, Cutforth. I can't even
yeah,
say his name.
yeah. And I
It's a
think
hard
with
one. That's
San Diego State, man, I mean, with their defense, uh, and the fact that we're going to need to run it more than we normally would, even with Maddox in there, I think we need to see more creative play calling on the run side, the run game. Um, like this game especially, I kind of felt like a lot of the plays we saw in past videos, we've broken down linemen where we see a lot of like the tight end and the far right lineman will shift over to the left side and kind of open up holes with some unique line structures and line schemes. In this game, I
right.
really didn't see as much of that. It felt like they were just kind of going straight forward, block the guy in front of you, and push them. There were a couple, them trying to open up gaps and stuff, but I think the Fresno linebackers did a really good job of just plugging any of those gaps, and our linemen didn't really move up to the second level as much as they needed to open those. So
Yeah.
So let's jump in a little bit. We'll take a look at a couple of these plays from the Fresno game. I really want to look at the line first, since that's going to be a big factor both in the pass game and also this upcoming game, where we really need to depend on them to create those running gaps. I mean, if we can get the running game open, we're pretty solid. But if they're able to stop that, that puts us immediately in a bad position with Cutforth trying to win the game for us, and that's probably not going to happen. So this first play here, I just want to first take a look at the line and really break down what's happening here and what we see. The first thing I saw when I first watched this, we have this guy coming in, putting on a blitz look. You can see he starts to back up, and we have the tight end switching sides, kind of like we were talking about, and we have a double block right here. Now, this double block, they just stay on that one guy, and I really wish one of them had moved up to the second level. And I think on this play, as you'll see, I think that would have really helped. We get the gap there, but I mean, he's just running right into a linebacker, And if we watch that double block, I think right about here, that guy's out of the play, and this guy is kind of holding him down. This guy on the left of that double block has an opportunity to then jump to the second level right here. And if at this moment he would have done that, we would have had a wide open gap right out the left side. But instead, he's running right into the linebacker.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know why the offensive lineman didn't do that. Is it because there's another lineman because they kind of crash into each other, but at some point in the double team, yeah, you gotta work up to the linebacker.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
else
not
you're
sure
going
if
two
that
for
was just
one.
a missed thing there, or I mean, they just keep pushing this way. He really never even, I mean, they're still blocking that same guy. They're still double teaming him at the
Yeah,
end of the
but
play.
you got four Broncos on top of one Bulldog. That's not a good look on the offensive line. Look, okay, so they got how many guys? You're going really just that
We
one
got
that
these
one
two
guy to
that are
double
out of the
team.
play.
Yeah, and then you got the other two that finished the double team. But look at the rest. Like that's not the numbers don't add up.
No, it
As
ends
me
up
as a
leading
defensive
to like
lineman,
5 or 6
yeah,
right where the guy's running.
yeah. To me, I'm like, if I can get a double team and me as a single player could take up two guys on the double team, that's a win for me.
So we have TJ
Just in
Acree
time.
joining us. Let me bring him in here. So here's another one where we're on offense. I think by this point, Cutforth is already in the game. We'll be able to tell here in 1 second. Now, I will say right from the beginning, I like this running back setup. I feel like we haven't really utilized this as much as we need to. And when we do, a lot of times one of the running backs just goes out on a sweep and goes out kind of for a pass look. I would love to see them do some misdirection where we get them crossing or whatever, so you don't know which running back is getting the ball. Yeah, once again, we got this guy going out for a sweep look, and he's kind of just blocking, which makes sense, but I feel like they use him more for blocking than for misdirection, and I think there's an opportunity there for, some misdirection plays every now and then.
Yeah, they definitely have to respect it because he's widening the field. Because at some point he would keep it. Yeah, your linebacker's already coming downhill. But it's just something
Yeah, and this is one of
that
the
defense has
good
to
run
respect
plays.
because
I
he
want
is
to take a
coming
look at the
out
line and see what they're doing
in the
on this one
flex.
compared to what we just looked at. We've got the double lineman jump that we were talking about kind of at the beginning of the video.
Got two pullers. Yep.
One thing I do like about this guy right here, when he jumps over, he kind of helps to set the edge with this lineman here, and then pops over to open up the gap. So he's able to kind of block two guys there and does a good job of that. And really, I think this one comes down to, I mean, Malik Sherrod found the gap. They did a good job of setting it, but still, I feel like even on this play, we've seen better blocking earlier this year, than we saw here. Still
Well,
successful, but
I like that
not as
Sherrod made
dominant.
something happen. You know what I mean? Like earlier in this, like, man, is this dude gonna run through anybody? And like he actually did kind of force his way through there, which is nice to see.
Yeah. Take a look at some passing. So this is Cutforth at this point. You can see this guy already starting to slip by a little bit.
Wait, did that get tipped?
I think that one did. Yep. This guy right here tipped it. And honestly, that was a good tip. I mean, throws his left hand up right here. He's able to get his hand on the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the thing, right? Quarterbacks, like once they've seen that a few times, he'll start like knowing that he can't release it on his preference anymore. He's got to make a small adjustment and release it on the left side.
Yeah. Yeah, this is where some of those reps definitely come in handy. Start to learn from those experiences.
And
That was a good
he's
play by Fresno too.
He's a quick learner, you know what I mean? And I think that what we may be seeing was like maybe he just accepted that role that like he wouldn't really be playing, so he's just kind of like being good teammates. Where now it's like, oh shit, I gotta perform.
Yeah, I mean, right here, I know he's kind of already getting the ball off to try to. This is, I assume, the guy he's throwing to, and he's just making his cut. So he does a good job of predicting the cut and trying to lead the guy. But he definitely had an opportunity to step over and throw it right between these two blockers instead of directly over a lineman.
Right. And I mean, he had not a bad high release. Him showing on film the fans and the coaches that like he can release the ball high over top of those things will be a valuable thing for him to do when he gets the opportunities. This one, I mean, first game in with the real bullets flying, it's like he's just trying to get the ball out there,
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, watching Kellen, here's a perfect example. Watching some Kellen Moore film and saying, okay, what did this dude do? He backed and he like swayed to like backward a little bit to that little soft spot. He was like proactively getting to those places. And, you start getting this quarterback with even more height thinking on those lines. And I think we got something good cooking.
Here's another one with Cutforth. Got tight end in motion. Really, there's just not a lot of gaps, man. I mean, I know that Fresno's doing a good job of just having all of their linebackers sitting there waiting, but even though they're not like missing their blocks, there's just Fresno
They're
people
just not
all
like
over.
dominating them.
Yeah, exactly.
What
They're
I'm saying?
not
They're not like
dominating them.
I'm reminded of like Matt Navis, Scott Huff, you know what I mean? Like those early 2000s. I mean, it's like we called them the road grader, bro, because they just loved like running people. And that's one thing I don't even know about just this, this example, but kind of in general, it's like, I don't know, like I've gotten away from that a bit. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's almost back to a mentality thing because they're working hard, right? It's like they're putting in effort, but they're just not putting in domination, like a willingness to dominate.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a good run play. There's worse ones that were even less dominant than this. But like a good example of this is if we watch this guy here, he's really not blocking anyone. So we've got a wasted lineman in this situation. I think it's the second guy here, this right guard.
Speed stick.
But he kind of helps to double team this and then moves up to nowhere. And this guy, like this right here, is just lack of domination, like we're talking about. He's not really blocking anyone. This guy gets past his blocker and he just kind of like lays a hand on him, but doesn't really do much to help either.
And that's just telling me like where are their heads at, right? Like where's their motivation? Like where are their heads at? Because whether it's confusion or it's like pushback or I don't know, but man, I think getting to the root of that is going to be valuable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and TJ, before you got in here, we were talking about how against San Diego State, especially if Cutforth is still starting, which it seems like he probably will be, it's going to be key for the line to really step up. We need bigger gaps and we need, better blocking for Cutforth. He really doesn't respond well to pressure. They're going to look at another one here and see if maybe we can find one with an example of that too.
We should take them all out to dinner before the game, the linemen and the quarterbacks.
Good play right here.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's look at these two blocks right over here. This guy just completely misses his block.
Yeah, again, it's like, it's from the I'm trying mentality instead of like, come here, motherfucker mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta like you were talking about Tampa a
Man,
little bit more, man. He was overstriding on that.
for sure. It's like,
The offensive line, yeah. Go
I don't
ahead.
know. It's almost like he's running to a spot that he already has predetermined as far as like like even
To the
right
man.
oops. Um like even like right
Yeah.
here, we can see he's over pursuing. Like from
Well,
pretty early on, like right about here, this guy starts to make a little bit of a cut and he's already on the outside. And he's
and
just
in the grand scheme of things, it's like when that dude goes to like make that harder cut, he puts himself in a more vulnerable position for him. Like if our guy had redirected through him, then he probably would have flat backed him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the intention just wasn't there. And we've all been there, man. I'm not talking any type of smack about it. It's just like our brains are so powerful in the performance. You know what I mean? And it's like what we're thinking is how it's going to happen.
Yeah, and once again, man, I mean, it goes back to a lot of what I see on defense with tackling. It's like the angles are just all off. I mean, even right
And
here,
I do wonder about that.
like even right here, I get that he's trying to block this guy from cutting this way, but his
Yeah,
entire
he's
body
been
is angled
instructed
out
to go
here
outside.
when the guy he needs to
Right.
block is over here. I
Yeah, you're
mean,
right.
It might
and
also be a timing thing too.
Yeah.
if you watch his head,
'Cause,
man,
I
he's looking
mean,
right at the guy, and his body, like right here, like he's looking over his right shoulder almost, and his whole body is angled incorrectly.
right. I think it might be a timing thing because I feel like
Yeah, he probably thought that he was expecting him to be up there sooner. That's why
sure,
he was looking over his shoulder to like see what type of angle he could get. And so yeah, it's a
'cause
lot to think about.
Yeah, and I think
yep. Because in a faster pace, if you would have got the ball to him faster, the guy going over top wouldn't even that block right here where the top the O
Yeah.
lineman is that's at the top. It'd have been perfect if he would have already been turned. If the ball carrier already turned, he would have been off to the races.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
another
it
thing that
might just be a timing thing.
So the other thing I want to look at, let's look at the bottom blocker here. He does a good job of getting some force on him and pushing him away, but it seems like as soon as he lays that initial block, he kind of, I don't know, he doesn't prepare for this guy to run past him at all. Like, he's kind of preparing for one block, not to continually block this guy out of the play. He's running at him still, but I mean,
now he's turning up. Okay, I see. Yeah.
yeah, and it's hard for me to explain this, but the way I think about it is you push this guy out, right? Now he's pretty much outside. Now this guy's going to be running past you on the inside. Do you really think this guy's going to run like behind him? No, he's going to start pursuing. So you should immediately be turning up field to block that pursuit, and instead he just runs straight at him. Once again, it's an angle thing, It's like they're not using predictive angles.
And again, I think what we're literally looking at is the manifestation or the result of a different mindset, right? It's
Yeah,
like, 'cause when
responsive instead of
when your mindset is killer, it's like your first step, which is maybe just a millimeter difference, but 100% effort difference, and then it turns into a good angle. It's like that's happening so fast, and it's either happening or it's not happening. It's kind of like a computer. It's like a 1 or a 0, and yeah, I don't know why I'm seeing so much of this, but it's like I feel like that's the difference in plays being made and plays not being compounds, which equals points and a lopsided score. Like I'm feeling all of Boise is feeling like it should have been the other way around. When I saw before against Fresno State, I was like, what the wait, what?
Yeah,
And
sure.
So
I believe this is the touchdown pass. Yeah, and this honestly, like, if we watch this play develop, with Cutforth, he actually does good on both short and medium passing. Once he starts to get those long developing plays, it starts to really, it's like the pressure really starts to get to him. As soon as that pocket closes in even a little bit, he starts really like kind of scrambling in his brain. Now, if we watch the receivers up on the top right here, they do a really great job with just scheme and play design. So this guy bolts through and takes this guy and opens up right here already with these two left slants. It's opening up this middle of the field, and it's opening up a pass lane right here. And as soon as Penry is able to get past that guy, Cutforth is doing a good job of loading up.
Oh, nice.
And I think this is a good example of
that's sweet.
what we need to be seeing as far as like shorter, faster routes that get the guy open. I mean, immediately right here even, with these guys starting to crash these receivers, we already have this guy's route starting to open up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and then just
and
putting it where it needs to be.
we got this guy getting by, but like I said, the play is fast enough that even when we got a guy beating his blocker, it really doesn't make too much of a difference. Like right here, he's pretty much full sprint at the QB, but he's already kind of loading up. If this play had been any more development than that, he would have been scrambling and not able to make anything out of it, you know.
Yeah, it's all about timing.
Let's see what we got. Pass it.
Just drops, man. Comes down with the interception. Now this one, to be fair, this one's not on Cutforth, you know. This is an interception that's basically
you didn't do your quarterback any favors with that one.
Oh yeah, the wide receiver's wholly responsible. And what's interesting is he has 2 guys to pass to here on short routes, and this guy down here going for a nice little flat out. Man, but like you got to make those catches, you know. I feel like if he had thrown to Caples, even maybe he had a chance. I don't know. Louder normally just doesn't miss those, man. We were just having an off day, even on the receiver end. But if we look at lineman play, once again, I think going into San Diego State, we need to be utilizing these quicker play actions. Once again, Matoyer's having a little bit of issue. He's still able to keep him out, but I mean, even if that guy had gotten right past Matoyer, he's getting it out so fast with these quick play calls that he still has tons of time.
Right.
And he's accurate. You know, he was able to make that pass. They just weren't able to make the catch.
Hey guys, I gotta get going.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Ricky. We'll talk to you next week, hopefully. So
Go Broncos.
here's another one with Cutforth. Fake handoff. Got the time. Not a great block there, but is able to at least slow him down. Once again, like, I think this is a really good example of what I was getting at before. Cutforth really, he's not very good at even being aware of pressure. And as soon as he notices it, he pulls the ball down and starts looking left and right and, doesn't know what to do with himself. But I mean, right here, as soon as he sees that missed block, he should be stepping up or, at least moving a little bit. And he just sits there until...
Well, rewind it just a little bit. Also, you see at the back, like his feet need to be... It's a nice fake, nice angle, but he's gathering there. Like, see where his feet are at and that extra hop? That front foot needs to be out, another half a yard for stability there. And that will come, you know what I mean? Thinking about that stuff, like, as I said, the first, like, real bullets.
Well, and let's take a quick look at downfield here. Wide open, Louder. And it's 1st and 10.
Was this after or before that Louder bounce pick?
This is after. This is like in series, yeah. So, like right here, we've got Louder wide open, and I would say if he's not seeing if he's not seeing routes starting to develop, which it looks like this guy is starting to make a cut that he might be able to hit. I don't know if maybe he's waiting for that, because it does look like he's looking downfield.
Yeah, and he may just be locked onto him.
But like right here already, we saw prior that he was pretty good at. We saw prior. What was that?
Oh, I said he'll see that on the film with his quarterback coach, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to work on it in practice this week and be like, okay, this is what this looks like, and this is the appropriate response.
Yeah, but even in the moment, so you take some steps back, you're looking downfield, and you're looking at this guy. I mean, he knows the route. He knows this guy's about to do a curl. And if we have this situation developing and he's in front of the guys about to make a curl, like we saw in the touchdown play, he should be ready to unload right now. And this guy curls and is wide open, no ball coming. And even if this wasn't developing, let's say he's worried about this guy, we should be looking at Wagner already and throwing that. Right about here, he should already have this ball out, whether it's either of those guys, And you can see right at the end there, right before he takes the sack, he starts to throw right there. He starts to pull the hand back.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's
Well,
like
again, those two things coming in on you take thoughts and time, right? And so it's like, I think it's back to,
he's
you
not
know,
thinking about them, man. Look at him. He's not even looking at those guys.
well, I mean, that's true, but
He has no
we can't
awareness
know.
of pressure in this
Uh,
play.
yeah.
I mean, even as he's getting tackled, watch his right hand with the ball. As he's about to get tackled, he starts to throw the ball. Right there. He starts to pull it back like he's about to throw the
Yeah.
ball to someone. And it's
I
like,
mean,
bro,
that
you
shows
have
me a
2 or
guy
3
with
guys
like
coming in on
toughness.
you, and you've had
That shows me
time
a
with
guy
2
with
open
toughness.
receivers.
Yeah, that shows me a guy with toughness, and also, like,
I
uh,
don't think it's toughness, man. It's lack of
more toughness
awareness and
than,
lack of uh, getting the ball out in time. I mean, both things. If he had gotten the ball out of time, that wouldn't have been an issue. But since he wasn't getting the ball out of time, he should have been aware of the pressure that he was about to receive. I mean, if we watch here, the first guy that gets the pressure on him first, right in front of him, there's an obvious missed block, which is another issue here. But I mean,
and what happened?
you got to be aware of that.
Oh, it was the running back. Okay.
Yep, running back goes up. He does a nice little jump to get around him, and he just misses the block. But
Yeah.
like I said, right
That's
here,
bad.
man, if you see that out of the corner of your eye, you should either be stepping up to this
Yeah.
more secure location, climbing the ladder, as they say, climbing the pocket, to be able to make the throw that he wants to do later on, or get the ball out. One or the other, but he just doesn't do either. I just feel this is
Right.
something I see consistently with Cutforth that they need to work on going forward if he's going to be our starter, is the lack of awareness of pressure. And like I said, when he
Okay.
does realize the pressure, he starts just not knowing what to do with himself.
Well, and I think there were a lot of aspects to that play, particularly, and I think it all comes back down to right there, like those extra hops and, you know, just getting those feet wider so that he can move more appropriately in the pocket. I think is
Yeah,
going to
but
take
here's the thing, man. Okay, he sits here and all of a sudden he's planted. You can't tell me he doesn't have the time to make movements in the pocket. He doesn't even attempt to. It's not that his feet aren't right, it's that his head's not right as far as picking up the pressure. And like if this was Maddox, let's say, which unfortunately it wasn't, but if it was, Maddox would either be stepping up or rolling somewhere.
right. And
Even at this
how
point,
many games has Madsen played in?
quite a few, but how many practices has Cutforth had? You know, this is something that shouldn't be addressed after failing in game. This should be like picking up pressure and responding to it is a fundamental of the quarterback position. This should be something that they're addressing in practice.
I agree.
And the fact that like
And
multiple, this isn't the only play this happens. There's like 4 or 5 of them in this game where he just has no concept of pressure. It's something that I almost feel like maybe the QB coach was so concerned with getting Maddox the best he can that he wasn't really picking apart the deficiencies of the backups because that wasn't his focus. But when we
maybe,
have Maddox and no one
but I
behind
mean,
him, that should be a focus.
yeah, it's true. And I mean, yeah, again, this is like they're already losing, like, and so I'm not making excuses for anything, but I
And
am
this ends up
saying,
being a fumble and they get the ball, I believe.
damn. Yeah,
That's just something I see a lot with Cutforth. And it's something that if he's going to be able to perform against San Diego, I mean, he needs to pick up on that pressure and respond a little bit better.
yeah.
Even against
Well,
Air
and I
Force, he
think
had a play where Air Force started rushing him, and he sees the pressure last minute and backs straight up into another guy and gets sacked. He has no concept of like awareness around him in the pocket.
interesting. Well, yeah, hopefully that's something they're working on with him with some eye training and peripheral and stuff like that because I do like his focus and courage
Once
in the
again,
pocket.
oh,
Step in and throw it. You know what I mean? I think, yeah. I don't know what happened right there. Did it get picked?
yeah, it gets
Or was it
intercepted.
completion? I kind of have it blown up because
But like right here, for example, he's gonna throw to this
look,
guy.
his feet are wider. You know what I mean? So that's an improvement.
Yeah, so he's gonna throw to this guy, but we have 2 wide open receivers that he could have gone to. In fact, 3 if you count Matt Wagner over here.
Yeah.
And instead, he takes the risky throw right between 2 guys. And I get he's going
I
for the
mean,
yardage, man, but I mean, it's second. It's 2nd and 8 right now.
yeah,
He doesn't need to
I
be
hear
getting
it.
going for the first. If he had
That's
gone to this guy,
that's true.
I
But
mean, he
again, I
probably
mean,
could have
stuff
gotten the
looks a lot
first.
different. Stuff looks a lot different down 17-7 on your like first game as the guy. You know, and
100%. But when you have 3 wide open guys and you go to the one that's covered, this is like fundamentals that I is either being missed by the coach in practice, or is something that he's just not picking up on and they need to focus on. And I know, like I said, in the past, Madsen's been our guy, so they've been probably more focused and putting their time into getting him as best as he can to lead us to the playoffs or whatever their goals were. But from the beginning of the year, they were talking about how we don't have anyone behind Maddox, and if he goes down, we're in trouble. And as coaches, if you know that, you should be putting a lot of attention into your second guy, trying to get him ready to go so that if this situation comes up, he's throwing to these open guys that are like right in front of him instead of this downfield guy that's surrounded by 5 people. It's just bad decision making that I feel like is once again kind of a fundamental of the QB position.
It certainly is, and it's
He seems to
again,
also get dialed in on a guy.
back to the I mean, because it feels like it could be safer to like throw it to a guy that you can depend on, but also it's like that can sometimes not be safe if the defense recognizes that.
I get it, but when you're throwing, I mean, we had a fumble and 2 interceptions in 3 drives. 3 turnovers in a row that were all either him fumbling or him throwing to bad throws like this. At what point do we need to play safe? At what point should he be just throwing short passes? And this is one thing I was saying, I think before you
I
came
hear
on.
that.
I feel like coaches, especially Nate Potter, the guy making the calls, or maybe the QB coach, because they have a dedicated QB coach now. He should
Mhm.
be basically, I think, in his ear saying, "Hey, I know you want that first man, but let's play safe. Let's get those quick throws so
Like
you
pick
can
what you need,
avoid the pressure and not have to worry about it,
Yeah,
and get the completion and let the guy make the play." I mean,
yeah.
if we can get 3 4 yard plays, that's a first down. But instead, we go for the risky play for the first and get an interception, and that doesn't really help. I think going into San Diego, we need to
Yeah,
focus on
turnovers.
playing safe and safe,
Uh,
effective plays, especially with a QB like this that's inexperienced and not really up to par right now. Like, don't try to make him
also,
force in these throws, man.
he's a baller. You know what I mean? It's like he's a gamer. So I agree with what you're saying. Like, ma- do some plays where he's got simple decisions and a high percentage of a high realistic um, of success. You know what I mean? Like a high
Mhm.
probability of success, and then let him get into it. Listen to what he's saying because he's good at recognizing things too. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's this age old thing where it's like the coaches from the box are the play callers and the players the play executors, and sometimes unless that's a very special and important dynamic. And uh, you know, him being in like as the first team guy in the film room, in the meeting, in the meetings, the practice, like I think that role for him to step into now that it's like actually a thing, um, I think that will help him perform better by being a starting quarterback for the Boise State Broncos, where scoring and winning is the expectation for good reason.
I agree. I think now that he's getting that focus, it's going to help him a lot. I just
Yeah,
think this is what all the fans have been saying in every chat, every forum that I'm in. They're saying we knew all year long that this guy was going to be our secondary if Maddox goes down, and why have we not been making that a focus up to this point? If we knew that there were these deficiencies that we needed fixing, there's no way that they didn't see some of this in practice. And
fair
the
enough.
only way I can see that happening is like they're not. One thing I see a lot in practice is them running routes with the receiver running a route and the QB, hitting them with basically no defenders.
Pressure.
And that's good muscle memory, but it seems to me like either they didn't have a
Making play
chance to
muscle memory
assess,
is what.
how they respond to reading pressure, how
Yeah,
reading coverages. But I mean, if you're a QB coach, why are you not working on that? I'm sure they were. You know what I mean? So they had to have identified that he has some more issues. That's why he wasn't starting. Because Maddox was better at that stuff. He's better at responding to pressure, better at reading coverages. So I just feel like we probably should have been doing more work before this point to get him to a point where if Maddox does go down, we're not completely screwed.
yeah. Well, I hope that's things like that because that's you know what I'm saying. It's like a weak, uh, critical fan base is not what Boise State is about either. So hopefully, we can quiet some of that and just get back to business.
I mean, I understand both sides. I understand, fans have got to support the team, but it's okay for fans to hold the team to a high standard and be able to point out issues, like glaring issues. Like, why was this not addressed if we knew he was our only backup? Um,
Yeah,
and
he didn't even see that guy, right? Like
he's not even
you can
looking, man. As soon as he
you can tell
snaps
from
the
this
ball,
angle that he
he's
didn't see that guy.
basically watching that dude the whole time, just staring down the
'Cause
receiver.
he's looking at the left guy.
He's just looking right at this guy the whole time,
Nah,
pretty
he
much
looked
from
over
the
to the
snap.
left. Look, because look, he's looking over to the left and then back. So I don't even think that he recognized that guy to the right was there. So,
I think what he does is he looks maybe right here and sees this guy on him, and then looks at him. But still, I mean, if you see this situation and you see a DB right in front of the guy you're looking at, why are you not then looking elsewhere? You know what I mean? He
yeah,
continues to
but I'm
stare
saying
him down.
he came from the left. Or he came eyes from the left, and so I don't even think that he saw that linebacker. He probably assumed that he widened out with the other guy.
He's not looking left, man. He looks at this guy first. He's checking here and he sees him running right towards the defender. So then he looks off of him and he now is looking straight at this guy. And he does not move his head. He just stares that receiver down the whole time, which lets this guy read it, night and day, just know exactly where he's going. And I mean that's an issue with a lot of QBs, staring down your receiver. Even like we see that with Geno Smith right now. That's why he's getting a lot of interceptions.
Yeah,
But when you see this guy right in front of the guy you're staring down, why are we then continuing to throw to him? I mean that in general is a risky throw, but it was just bad decision making. He needs to be looking at his checkdowns if those guys aren't open. Anyways, let's check another one here real quick. So this is kind of a little bit into the fourth now. And I think this is where he starts to go deeper, but once again, just not really aware of the pressure around him.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, this is from his left side, so it's pretty much he's blind to it. It's hard to see that. That's why you need a good left tackle. But this gets back to the line not really performing in the way that we've seen them in the past. I don't know if they're just getting tired or what, but he kind of blocks him and then just looks like he kind of gives a half effort after that point. One good block and then just kind of like he's one-handing it. You know what I mean? Got him not really doing anything.
First of all, big shout out to Ryan Dinwiddie. He got inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame. Ryan Dinwiddie's not a super tall guy quarterback, but
Mm.
nor is Kellen. But they got to where they needed to be to get the ball to where it needed to be, and you know what I mean. Did it with confidence and not a lot of excuses. And I think called people out anytime that they had excuses. I know that Ryan Dinwiddie would do that to any of us if he wasn't seeing what the expectation was getting done, and vice versa. You know what I mean? And so it's like, there's a big value to like holding people to a high standard and accountability, and it being in balance between the whole program. And so I'm hoping to see a little bit more of that come back with these next couple of weeks to get that win at San Diego.
I don't know if Cutforth just is really like not up to par this much, or if they haven't really been focused on him because they were expecting Madsen to play, so they were kind of drilling Madsen to be his best.
Right. Yep.
And I feel like almost they were putting these backups through the same reps and the same type of training that Madsen was doing, so they could train all of them the same way. But it's like not everyone is built the same, and not all QBs or any player plays the same. So if you train a QB, let's say a pocket passer, the same way that you would train a scrambler, they're not going to develop this as well.
Right. And so, yeah, everyone needs to be developed, like, you know what I mean, custom, especially at this level. So, yeah, Yep. No, I
I,
hear it. And so, now everybody is clear on that, right? Where maybe it wasn't before. So I think acknowledging it is fine, talking about
I
it, and
think
then
I think what fans are saying though, what I've been seeing a lot on chats and forums from the fans that are not very happy right now is why are they realizing it now when they've been watching him in practice for 7 weeks and knowing that he was our safety line if Madsen goes down, knowing that he was the guy they
again,
had
like
to
I said
rely on.
earlier, practice speed can be a lot different than game speed. You know what I mean? And it's like think you have time for
True,
stuff
but
because
should it be?
practice.
I mean, I know you have to protect your players. You can't have them full tackle and all that stuff. But at the same time, you have to find ways as a coach to put your players in positions where they're able
That's true.
to get that practice
Yeah,
like
and I'm sure that
rep.
they are.
That's what a lot of the fans are saying. That's what I've been
Yeah.
conversating with people about and what I've been seeing as a response to what we've seen not just in this game, but in the Nevada game. The Nevada game didn't look too much better than this, and that was with Madsen in.
Oh, I
Madsen was a bit more accurate, and he's a bit better at responding to pressure and all that. So this was even worse with Cutforth. But a lot of the same issues as far as the offense not being very dominant, um, or the offensive line, I should say, not being very dominant, has been a factor even in the Nevada game. And these are the types of things that I think a lot of the fans are not too happy about right now and trying and searching for answers as to why is like either why is this stuff not being addressed or how are we addressing it and why is that not working? Um, and throughout the past few games, we haven't seen it. Spencer Danielson will come on and say, we have some things on film that stand out and we need to be fixing them. And then the next game comes and it looks worse. So where's the disconnect there? That's something that I think Boise State needs to figure out, pinpoint on, and really reflect on as coaches, not just as players, but where are they going wrong as far as a big part of Spencer Danielson's coach speak is every week we need to be improving. If we get better every week, then we'll get there. But we're not seeing that right now. I'm not sure why, but I think that's something they need to figure out and pinpoint.
Yeah, I'm sure they're working on it because
So,
it's true, and yeah, I think they got the talent for it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Max Cutforth play taller and wider with feet, and just finding his group because I think him playing in the same confident mindset that the Ohio guy that you were talking about got to because of teammates, because of a few lucky plays. I don't know why, but or because of preparedness and grit and all of that. So, however, Max Cutforth gets into confident mode, however that happens, whether it's through coaches, players, teams, fans, parents, him getting there will be a fun thing to watch.
yeah, I just don't think confidence is what he's lacking. I think it's fundamentals that need to underpin the confidence. Like I said, it doesn't help if you're confident if you're throwing it into double coverage when you've got three open guys. That confidence
And I'm
doesn't
proposing
help.
that the inconfident uh, mindset of that 2 seconds may have led to that decision instead. You know,
I don't know. I hope going forward with these future games, they're able to change the game plan to kind of focus on that and helping Cutforth. I mean, if he's having to make these decisions and he's not able to, we need to game plan so that he just goes through one, wide receiver one, and if they're not open, go to your check down that is going to be
yeah, for
open.
sure. I
Um,
mean, yeah, Taylor,
it's
what I mean? It's like it's done it before. So
there was a quarterback back in the day. I'm trying to remember which team he was on. I almost want to say it was the Chicago Bears, and this is back in probably like the 70s, 80s eras. So they had a really great quarterback that was great at throwing deep, and they went into the season with this game plan of basically running the ball and then hitting them over the top. Once they would start to play close, and they were really good at it. The first game or so, the quarterback was basically landing bombs, and
yeah,
then he goes down, twists his shoulder out of place, and is out for the season. And they had to pull in their secondary quarterback, who was not looking very good. He was considered to be one of the worst QBs in the entire league, and all the fans and everyone was pretty stressed out about that. And the coaches did an amazing job at completely reevaluating their game plan and
nice.
knowing, okay, this guy can't pass deep. He's not a very good decision maker. He's not very good at responding to pressure. Like all these things he had issues with, just like what we're seeing with Cutforth. He has a lot of those same issues. And what they did was they relied on quick, creative slants mostly in the pass game,
Oh,
as well as some screens and other things, to the fact where
nice.
he would get the ball out fast enough that there was no
Yeah,
pressure. So that
nice.
negates that issue. It negates the fact that he has bad long distance and bad arm strength, because now he's just throwing short, accurate passes. Um, it negated his decision making not being very good by just giving him, all right, you're going to throw to this guy, and if he's not open, look at your check down. Like these quick, things took the decision making out of the concept for him.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
And I think something like that is really what we need to focus on with Cutforth going open. I think we can learn from those past, greats. And I really hope once we start seeing the San Diego game kick off, we see those adjustments right away. If we start seeing them running long developing plays, I think we're in trouble. So we'll see.
That's a good take. Appreciate that.
But we are going to plan on doing a San Diego State kind of precursor next week. So everybody come on back for that. We'll talk a little bit more about what we expect to see from game planning and what we can learn from some of these past games. TJ, thank you so much for coming on, man. It was really nice talking with you. And Ricky, once again, thank you for stopping by. For all of you guys watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit the follow button, subscribe, and comment. It really helps us. We're a brand new channel. So every little bit really boosts.
Cool. Well, talk to you next time. Go Broncos.
Yeah, go Broncos. We'll see you guys next week.